Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Live with New Insight. And thank you so much for joining me in another video. Happy Friday. We made it. And so I hope everyone is doing well today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your likes, comments, your subs, and supports to my channel. Thank you so very much. And so before we get started in today's discussion, today's video, I want to ask you three questions just as a check-in. Number one, can you let me know how you feeling today? How you feeling right now? Just one feeling word. Happy, sad, worried, stressed, excited, tired, overwhelmed. But one feeling word just to check in. Number two, tell me about an affirmation that you use, an affirmation that you live by, or an affirmation that is helpful to you in keeping you focused and motivated, an affirmation that is helpful in keeping you positive and keeping you on track. And number three, tell me about your weekend plans. What are you doing this weekend? Will you be getting some R&R, rest and relaxation, or will you be busy and productive, or both? So a feeling check-in, one feeling word to describe how you're doing today, how you're feeling right now. Affirmation that is a favorite of yours, or one you live by, one that is very helpful and impactful to you. And then also your weekend plans, rest and relaxation, busy and productive, or both. And thank you so much for checking in. So, in today's video, I want to talk to you about weak and vulnerable moments because these are the times when the automatic negative thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions will activate in our minds. And when this happens, we tend to override our logical decision making. When we are weak, when we are vulnerable, when we are tired, stressed, sick, overwhelmed, worried, depressed, feeling defeated, depleted, when we are sick, bored, lonely, in need of comfort, conversation, connection, these are the times when the automatic negative thoughts will activate, will ruminate, will start overthinking, and before we know it, those thoughts will take over. And what it does is override our logical decision making. And before we know it, we're acting or reacting based off emotions, ego, and impulsivity. And so, again, this video, this discussion will be about those weak moments. Okay. And I do have notes here, and I will be looking at my notes just to stay on task. Okay. Sorry about that. So I had everything pulled up, and this is just to stay on task here. Okay, so I'm quite sure all of us have had some weak and vulnerable moments, whether it be due to a relationship, due to work stress, due to being sick or just overwhelmed, and just due to being tired or perhaps going through a crisis situation in your family. And so, what do we do during these weak moments? So, for some, a weak moment could be an ex reaching out, okay, or a toxic person reaching out. A weak moment could be someone giving into unhealthy habit or addiction. And so, again, these are the times when our minds will ruminate. The ants or automatic negative thoughts will be activated. This will cause us to start thinking with emotional reasoning instead of logical reasoning, and we'll give in to that impulsivity and those urges. And this, of course, affects the way we cope with situations, our moods, and just the way we show up in our day to day. So, this is very important. And so it says, or I wrote, what do we do during these times? Because our mind will give us all the reasons why it's okay. So when the toxic person comes, whether that's an ex, a family member, a friend, whoever, or that trigger, okay? Doesn't even have to be a person, just that trigger. When that trigger arises, your mind will give you all the reasons why it's okay. Your mind will justify it, okay? And even with valid reasons, it will justify why it's okay to go backwards. And this will cause you to make decisions that you know will be self-defeating. They're going to work against you. And it will cause you not to listen to your intuition, to ignore red flags, and to dismiss and override logical reasoning. And when this happens, this is how we repeat old patterns and cycles over and over again. So the trigger happens, we feel weak, we feel vulnerable, the automatic negative thoughts are activated. The more we start thinking, the more those thoughts are reinforced. We give them power, we give them life. Now they're taking over our minds, they're taking over our moods, and they're taking over our habits, our behaviors, our actions and reactions, and how we cope. And this is how we repeat those old self defeating habits and patterns. And so, to break this, it's very important that we know our triggers, first of all, and that we, if we can, try to avoid those triggers, try to utilize proactive decision making and logical decision making and setting boundaries and whatever that looks like. So, in a relationship, or that may look like just setting stricter boundaries or no contact and things of this nature. And so we have to activate, in order to challenge and change the negative thinking, the automatic negative thoughts, we have to activate affirmations. Affirmations are so important. And the affirmations is going to be that positive, helpful, constructive, encouraging, uplifting talk and thoughts that will help you challenge and replace the automatic negative thoughts. So you want to activate your affirmations, because the affirmations is going to be trying to pull you in the opposite wrong direction. And it's going to be giving you all the reasons why it's okay. It's okay to go backwards. It's okay to give in. It's okay to break. And so you need the affirmations to steer you in the right direction and to keep you grounded and to keep you focused and grounded in truth and facts, and not beliefs and assumptions. Okay, so the affirmations, then you want to tap into a higher power. And I talked about this in a previous video. This is something bigger, greater, and higher than you. For a lot of people, this is God, this is their spiritual. And so you need something greater, bigger, and higher that you can tap into, that's going to help you with strength and resiliency and peace and acceptance. And that's going to help keep you grounded and focused. You have to say to yourself, for example, let's go back to the affirmations. So once that trigger arises, and here come all the automatic negative thoughts in your mind, ruminating and overthinking and trying to steer you in the wrong direction. Of course, it's going to try to tell you it's the right direction. And so when that happens, you have to use those affirmations. And that's why the affirmations really need to be tailored and specific for the specific thoughts that you're having, the specific stressors and triggers that you are experiencing, so they can resonate with you and be impactful for you. And so, for example, if a toxic person or ex, if this is the situation, if this is the trigger, you have to say, I'm not going there. And say what you mean and mean what you say. And you have to say it, and then you have to stay focused on the facts and the truth of the matter. As soon as the what ifs come, those thoughts, you have to shut them down, dismiss them, and deny them access so that you don't even entertain them. And then make this okay in your mind. Make it okay. Give yourself permission to do so, because again, the automatic negative thoughts, the ants, will be giving you all the reasons why it is okay. You should let your guard down. You should give in. You should break. And so you want to dismiss those thoughts, deny them access. For example, if someone is toxic, you want to say to yourself in your affirmations, I gave them enough of my time, energy, love, loyalty, and access. I deserve happiness, peace, security, a healthy and balanced reciprocated relationship. I don't trust their motives. I don't trust their intentions. And this is a result of their actions and decisions, not mine. And yes, people can change and people do change. But even with their change, that does not mean I owe them or you owe them another chance. I'm not obligated to give someone who hurt, used, and abused me access to me again. You have to keep reaffirming this. Keep reaffirming this. Also, points to consider. 3 points to consider. Number one, even if the person has changed, that doesn't mean the change is adequate enough to sustain your needs and expectations or to sustain the type of relationship dynamic that you need and desire. Number two, nor does it mean the changes are genuine and lasting. Number three, even if the changes are genuine and lasting, this does not mean that you owe the person another chance. And it also does not mean that the relationship has to look the same. You have a right to set new boundaries, hopefully healthier boundaries. And this includes what I call reestablishing the new terms and conditions of that relationship. And if the person does not approve, and if they are not willing to compromise with you, then you let them go their way and you go your way. You can continue to be nice and cordial if this is family, if it's someone you work with, keep it strictly business, but do set and maintain healthy boundaries. And again, you are not obligated to give someone who hurt, used, and abused you access to you again, even if they have changed. So think about this. Regardless of how wrong you may feel, you have to shift gears. You have to shift gears. I made a video, did a previous video called Stop, Shift, Act as If. So before you react to that trigger, you have to stop and you have to put things in the proper perspective. You have to think first and you have to refrain from allowing your emotions and ego, your feelings, to override logical, wise decision making. And so you have to repeatedly affirm or reaffirm the facts and the truth. Also, this is a great time to use the stop, shift, act as if. Also, a great time to implement the DOC acronym. All of this relates to behavioral change. So, that DOC acronym, the DOC stands for different, opposite, challenging. You want to do things that take you out of your comfort zone. You want to do things that require you to face your fears and anxiety. You want to do things that might feel funny, weird, wrong, uncomfortable to get you to prevent you from repeating the same habits and behaviors. So you want to discard old habits and form new habits. And the only way to do that is to get out of your comfort zone. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting things to be different, expecting different results. And so, in order to get out of that comfort zone and in order to push past fears and anxieties and things like procrastination, you really want to start doing what is different, opposite, and challenging. And then the stop, shift, act as if. That just means stop, don't react, don't give in to impulsivity and the urges and the emotional reasoning and the ego. Put things in the proper perspective. Stay focused on fact and truth. Stay grounded in reality. And also use your affirmations. Use your affirming talk to challenge and change the self defeating or the anxious talk or the negative, unhelpful talk and thoughts. And so there's another behavioral term that I used in the video, that is act as if, the DOC, and then act the opposite. And all of these go together. So sometimes you're acting the complete opposite of a behavior, and other times you're just doing something differently. Okay. But all of it, the goal is to get out of behaviors that are self-defeating, that are just unproductive and just not helping, or bad habits that are detrimental to your physical, mental, and emotional health. And so, for example, when you having these weak and vulnerable moments, if you feel anxious and you feel uncertain and you feel not confident, to act as if means you want to act as if you're strong, you're motivated, you're confident, you're unbothered. You want to completely embody that. Okay. You want to think about how would someone, how does a confident, strong, um, unbothered person act? It might be someone you know, someone you've observed, someone you've seen on TV, someone you've read about, or you just imagine that. And you start affirming that through your talk and through your talk and your thoughts, excuse me, and then through your actions. Okay, so it's like a manifestation. So you want to act the opposite of behaviors that keep you stuck. And the more you challenge the vulnerable thoughts and the thoughts that try to convince you not to trust your intuition, the thoughts that try to convince you to overlook red flags and doubt your wise decision making, the more you challenge those, and the more you challenge the behavioral habits, those patterns, those habits that are keeping you stuck. This is how you'll start the healing and transformation process to actually feel better, do better, and become better. So just be very careful during the weak and vulnerable moments. We all have them, regardless of how smart and intelligent you are, regardless of age, regardless of financial status, regardless of gender, color. We all have them. And so these are the times when it is easier for you to give in to impulsivity, for you to give in to emotions and ego. And this will keep you stuck, or it will send you backwards. And that's not how you want to go. That's not what we're doing. We want to live life forward. We want to be happy and healthy and whole. We want to be secure. We want to have peace. And we want to make the best of our time while we have it. And so, thank you so much. Please remember a feeling word in the comments below, a feeling word, an affirmation that is helpful or impactful for you, an affirmation that you live by, or a favorite affirmation or affirmations, and your weekend plans. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you guys have a happy, blessed, great, wonderful, relaxing, productive weekend. And we will talk soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.